The Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 beta weekend 1 is in the books, and I have some thoughts on it. So today I wanted to make a quick video on what I thought about it and how it played, and some things that I might want fixed either in the next beta weekend or ultimately in the full release when the game comes out in November 10th. Also, I wanted to go over a tweet from Sledgehammer Games where they're talking about what they want to fix from weekend 1 going into weekend 2. And this beta on weekend 2 is going to be for Xbox players and PC players who pre-ordered first on the 12th, and then also PlayStation players will be able to be a part of that beta as well. So let's get right into it. My name is LJ and welcome to FPS Guides. So first, let's get into what I thought about the beta. I want to say I didn't get to play as much as I'd like since my PlayStation 5 is downstairs in the media room and it's in a spot where it's hard to unplug. So basically I was playing it not as much as I would like to because I've usually just game at my setup up here, but I was playing on a big TV with input delay that I wasn't used to, which I know is my fault, but I didn't really get to experience the beta how I would have liked to. But overall, it was a fun experience, even though I didn't get to experience it how I wanted to. But like I said, that was my fault. So let's go right into the things that I think that they need to fix from weekend 1 going into weekend 2. So first, let's get into what I thought about the beta. I didn't really get to play as much as I'd like since my PlayStation is downstairs in the media room and it's in a spot where it's kind of hard to unplug. I have to like move a big piece of furniture. It just wasn't worth it for me. So I just ended up playing on the couch on a TV like I used to back in the day. And it wasn't the experience that I would have liked to play with the beta, but honestly, it was my fault, and overall the game was fun and I did have a good experience, but there were some things that I do think that they need to fix going from weekend 1 into weekend 2. So let's get right into those right now. So first, I want them to fix the operator visibility. I found myself shooting teammates a lot in this beta. Sometimes it was damn near impossible to tell who an enemy was and who was a friendly, just like when a lot of stuff was going on your screen. Like the indicator above the teammates' heads just didn't like pop enough to where, I mean, I'm not the only one this was happening to. I saw it on Twitter as well, but like something would be like happening on your screen, like explosions, like smoke and stuff, and I would just be lighting a teammate up. And like I said, I saw clips of this on Twitter, so I thought it was pretty funny. And that's just one of the things that I feel like they need to fix going into the next beta, which they are going to be doing, and that's going to be in the tweet that we'll go over here in a little bit. But I just wanted to make that known so that it's just something that I felt like needed to get fixed, and it was a first impression for me. Like I was like, what? I don't know what's happening. I'm shooting my teammates way too much here. Next up, I would like to see the slide cancel be a little bit more clean and not as delayed as it has felt in this beta so far. Now, I'm not a game dev and I don't really know exactly what's going on here. I don't know if it's like the slide mechanics delayed or if it's the way that you're pressing the buttons to get yourself to slide cancel, but there's something going on to where there's like a delay going into the slide animation. And now with this slide cancel, even though it's back and I'm happy about that, it just didn't feel as good as other Call of Duties that had slide canceling in it. And since they use this as like a marketing point, like saying, oh, slide canceling back, movement's back, I feel like they need to make sure that the slide cancel feels as good or better than previous Call of Duties that had the slide cancel in it. And then third thing that I want them to fix is turn down SBM at least a little bit. I'm in the side of the argument where I'm just not a fan of SBMM. And for those who might not know, I'm sure you probably do if you're in the Call of Duty community, but SBMM is skill-based matchmaking. Now, I do understand why it exists and all, but I really don't feel like skill-based matchmaking, like I don't feel like skill-based should be like a huge factor when matchmaking is happening. I feel like ping should always be king. And that's kind of why I liked X Defiant so much when that was kind of going through its hype cycle. And even though they did delay it recently, I'm still excited for it. But the fact that it had no skill-based matchmaking, I feel like that's just a way better way to do things nowadays. I understand Call of Duty has an esport and there's a lot of players out there that want to be as good as they possibly can. So going against people who are of their skill level or higher is a must for them. They want to just get better. They want to continue playing people that gives them a challenge. But in a beta and in casual playlists, I just don't think skill-based matchmaking should be there. I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like matchmaking should always be putting you in servers that has the best ping for you. Because I mean, we know Call of Duty's got the population for it. And I can tell you right now, with skill-based matchmaking in like the last 4 Call of Duties, I'm almost never on a West Coast server. And I live in Seattle, so I'm always like on 70, 80 ping. And it's just not fun for me at all. I think if you're going to have skill-based matchmaking, it should always just live in ranked, and then casual playlists and in the betas, it should always just prioritize your ping when matchmaking. Unfortunately, this is probably never going to be fixed, and I wanted to add this just to kind of voice my frustrations on it. And in the last few Call of Duties, I've honestly had like an over 2.0 kill death ratio. Weird flex, I know, but I'm always in sweat lobbies. So I'm always like, I have to try every single game. Otherwise I'm getting cooked. Cause like I do enjoy trying for a few games, but sometimes I just want to have some music on. I want to chill and play some games, but everybody in the lobby is sweaty and like we all have 2.0 KDs. So it just doesn't make it fun for me. I'm just going to die over and over if I'm just leaning back trying to have a good time. So that's all I wanted to go over, what I feel like needs to get changed going into the next beta, and then also possibly changing things for the full release of the game. So let's get right into this tweet from Sledgehammer so we can see what they're going to be planning on changing. All right, so here's the tweet I wanted to talk about. So it's Sledgehammer Games tweets, weekend 1 of the Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer beta has come to an end. We'll be back on Thursday with the highly anticipated return of High Rise, which is a W. I love High Rise. Anybody who played Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, like High Rise was one of the best maps in that game for sure. So I'm excited for that for the next beta. And then the debut of Cutthroat, which I saw in the COD Next event, and it looked interesting, but I'm not really sure what to think of it yet. So I'm hyped to be able to play it, and more expected throughout the weekend ahead. So I'm not sure what they mean by that. Maybe more maps and stuff, but we'll see. I'm hoping we get like some search and destroy so we can play that. Until then, we'd like to take a moment to thank you all for feedback. Our team is hard at work on further improvements for weekend 2 and beyond. Later this week, you can expect an update on some of the top concerns we observed, including but not limited to operator visibility, which we went over earlier in the video. And this is a huge W because, like I said, I was shooting teammates a lot, and I'm not a bot. Like, I'm not a bot, and I saw other players who are definitely not bots. They're really good players, and they were tweeting out clips of them just lighting their teammates up, not knowing what's happening because they're not getting hit markers. And then kind of like the smoke clears a little bit, and then they see that little tiny thing above their head, like, oh, that was a teammate. So operator visibility getting fixed, that's a huge W. And then slide timing, also we went over earlier in the video, and this is another huge W. Like, seriously, the slide cancel does feel pretty good, but that slight delay just kind of throws you off a little bit, and it just didn't feel as clean as other Call of Duties. So I feel like them fixing the slide timing is going to make this next beta is going to be way better just for this for me, because like I don't know what it was. I'm not used to playing on controller as much as I used to be. The slide timing just being a little bit delayed just threw me off pressing buttons on the controller. So I'm hoping it feels a lot better going into this next beta. And then spawn selection. I think we all know that the spawns felt super random in this beta. So it honestly felt like there was no spawn system at all. It was just throwing people randomly throughout the map. So fixing the spawns, huge W. So I'm excited for this next beta, and I can't wait to see how they fix these things. Honestly, guys, I am super excited for this next beta that's going to be coming in a couple days, because they already said they're going to be fixing stuff. It kind of feels like they're being a lot more transparent than they used to be. Like Call of Duty used to be like they just changed stuff randomly and nobody knows why, and then they would like just kind of put it in the patch notes and then not really explain to everybody what was happening. So the transparency from devs and then the fixes that they're doing, being exactly what a lot of people have been wanting, has just been a really great breath of fresh air. Like, honestly, I'm super excited. For those of you guys watching this video who might not have learned how to slide cancel back in the day, we made a video on it a couple days ago, so it's going to be on screen right now if you guys want to check it out.